So these basketball knee pads cost $39 and you can get them at pretty much any sporting goods store. However, these knee pads are $45 and you can only buy them online. But they do have a secret piece of technology in them that I feel make them the hands down best basketball knee pad that you could buy with your money. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you why you should get these and ditch those. Now, before we get into talking about protecting your knees, I want to help you protect your personal information online with the help of our sponsor, Aura. For me, Aura is super important because I manage online accounts and emails for my grandparents, probably like most of you guys as well. And in the past, my grandparents have been constantly harassed by spammers, robocallers, and just a variety of other types of scams. But now with Aura, I'm not just allowed to protect my information online, but my family's information as well, since I can add them with the family plan. Now, it is true that data brokers who expose your information online are legally required to remove your information if you ask them to, but asking them to is really complicated and hard to do. So Aura actually handles all of that for you. Everything is super easy to set up. You don't have to download multiple apps to get antivirus, VPN, password management, or get you everything at one affordable price. Now, not only can you see if your information has been part of a data breach, but you can see from what apps or sites that information come from, which is super helpful to know. And it's also just a huge sigh of relief to know that your information is getting the best protection possible. Aura literally has your back from online threats that you can't even see. So go ahead and get yourself some online protection and stop letting others exploit and profit off of your information and your families as well, so you can all live in peace by going to aura.com/Jaramon to activate your free 14-day trial to see if any of your information has been breached. Once you sign up and set up your account, Aura will notify you if any of your information has been breached. So again, aura.com/Jaramon, activate your free 14-day trial with the link down below. All right, so let me quickly start with the McDavid knee pads because like I said earlier, these are the most accessible pair of knee pads. You can pretty much walk into any local sporting goods store and they are most likely going to have these in stock. And even if they don't, you could still buy these on Amazon. So availability and accessibility really can't be beat with the McDavids. But what about the product itself? How good are the McDavid basketball knee pads actually? Well, for me, there's really only one category that the McDavids might have the edge in, and that category would be the materials. The compression material that McDavid used on these is really nice. It's stretchy, it's not too thin, it's not too thick, and the best part about them is their feel. The material is really soft, and it just feels like a high quality compression material. I don't shop at Lululemon, but I'm going to assume that this is what all the girls feel when they shop there and just go absolutely crazy for it. Another pro with these McDavids is the foam that is used for the padding. It is super lightweight and thick, so technically the impact protection from this foam could be more substantial than other knee pads that might have a thinner padding. However, the way it is implemented here is not the greatest. I'll touch on that a little bit later in the video, but overall, it is impressive how thick the padding is while remaining lightweight. So overall, the McDavids are a decent value, especially when you consider availability. However, if you want the best basketball knee pad that money can buy, allow me to introduce you to Game Patch. This knee pad has technology in them that is not in the McDavids. And to be completely honest with you guys, which I always am, I just thought it was a marketing gimmick. Like I flat out thought it wasn't going to work like how they said it was. But after using this technology for years, I can honestly say that this technology is a complete game changer. But before I show you what that technology is, let me quickly just go over a couple of categories that I feel the game patches do much better than the McDavids. All right, first up, let's talk about durability. Right off the bat, if you turn both knee pads inside out, you'll see that the McDavid knee pad is just stitched on, while the game patch knee pad is stitched within the sleeve itself. Now, this is actually a really big deal because if one of these stitchings or threads gets loose on McDavid's, the whole thing can kind of fall apart. And, that could very well happen due to the tremendous amount of stress that you're putting on the stitching during normal play and movements, as well as moisture buildup from sweat that will naturally occur. The game patches, on the other hand, not only do they feature a much more durable stitching in this area, but even if one of those stitches gets loose, the pad will still stay inside the sleeve and won't be hanging off detached from the rest of the product. It's overall just a much better system. Now, if you take a look at the stitching of both of the knee pads on the outside, you'll see that the game patches do have a much thicker stitching on every seam, most importantly around the pad itself. In the past, I have had problems with other knee pads where the stitching on the top part of the pad has kind of come loose. And this is caused because you are constantly kind of pulling up your sleeve during use, because naturally the sleeve will tend to slip down, especially the sweatier you get. So, this is just a constant battle. We've all seen it, people just like pulling up their sleeve real quickly. So the extra more durable stitching on the game patches is really helpful in this situation. Now, it is worth mentioning that McDavid does offer a forced version of their Hex Pads, which apparently are more durable. However, my local sporting goods store did not carry this version. So if you're forced to buy one of these two online, you might as well go with the more superior pair, which I feel are the game patches. Now, in all fairness, I do have to point out that my game patch sleeve did actually rip. However, it happened in the laundry. So just to be safe, I'd recommend hand washing these and air drying them so you don't experience a rip like I did. Now, it is important to note that this rip hasn't really affected the performance of the product whatsoever. It's mainly just a visual flaw, and it took almost a year for these to show any signs of significant wear. So overall, I do feel the durability on the game patch knee pads is better than the McDavid's, but again, they're not indestructible. Another thing that I really love about the game patch pads is this silicone strip that's on the inside of the thigh opening. This strip does wonders, helping prevent slippage and helping keep the sleeves stay in place, which is something that I was constantly battling with the McDavid Hex Pads. Now, speaking of fit, I thought this was really interesting because both brands have very different size charts. But if you just take a look at the pads themselves, the McDavids are a lot smaller. Now, I got a medium in both brands, and the game patches just cover up a lot more surface area, which for me personally is a huge plus, because not only are you getting added compression on your leg, but from a style point of view, the longer sleeve is my personal preference because it rides up your thigh a lot more, which again helps prevent scrunching around the top of the knee, but also prevents showing some unwanted skin. Now, I know that might sound vain, but when you're putting a product on your body, style does have to be accounted for. And for me personally, I enjoyed this style of the much longer sleeve a lot more than a shorter one, because again, it rides up the thigh more, you're not showing as much skin, and it also prevents scrunching at the top part of the knee. And of course, you're obviously getting a lot more compression with that longer sleeve. Now, as far as what size you should get, this is what I found really interesting, because the size charts that both of these brands have listed on their site are totally different. Now, I measure in right about 15.5 inches, which according to McDavid's site, says that I'm right on the edge of a medium and large, while the game patch site says that I'm on the edge of a large and extra large. Now, personally, I'm just gonna say this, I think that both of these size charts are totally out of whack, because like I said, I got a medium in both sleeves, and while the game patches fit me perfectly, the McDavid's are just way too small. Not only is the sleeve much smaller like I mentioned earlier, but I thought the openings of the sleeves were way too small as well. and I kind of struggled to put them on. So I definitely wish I had a larger size in the McDavids, but the Game Patch medium pads fit me perfectly. I thought the length, the width, the entry points on both sides of the sleeve were just absolutely spot on. But again, I did go against their advice according to their size chart. So I think the best solution here is just get 2 sizes and return the one that doesn't fit you perfectly. I truly do think this is the best solution to ensure that you're completely happy with your purchase. But if you don't want to deal with the whole return process, which trust me, I totally understand, I would recommend going down a size with the Game Patches and then up a size with the Hex Pads. All right, so if you haven't noticed by now, personally, I enjoy what the Game Patch pads have to offer over the McDavids. However, I have still not talked about that one piece of technology that these have and no other knee pad has, and for me personally, is an absolute game changer and the single reason why you should buy these over any other knee pad on the market today. The padding in the Game Patch knee pad is powered by what they are calling BAT technology, which is essentially a custom fitting foam. Once the padding acclimates to your body temperature around 97 to 98.6 degrees, the BAT technology will start to activate and the padding will get softer and start to take its form around your knee, providing a seamless one-to-one fit. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. That sounds like a total gimmick, and trust me, I was the first one to be skeptical of it, but I am telling you guys, this technology actually does what it promises to do. When you first put on a Game Patch sleeve, you're actually going to feel like the padding in the knee area is too big, and it's gonna feel more like a shell than something that is stuck onto your body. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you are going to feel a little bit worried that you got the wrong size because this pad will feel disconnected from your knee. But I promise you guys, give it about 5 to 10 minutes and you will start to feel your body temperature softening up that foam. And before you know it, this knee pad will be stuck onto your body at every angle during every movement, and it will provide a true seamless one-to-one fit that I personally have never experienced in any other knee pad. Now, I do understand that this is kind of hard for me to display to you how it works in a video, but I'm gonna try my best. If you take a look at how the foam reacts after I scrunch it, the Game Patches foam has a much slower reaction, and that's because it truly does feel like a memory foam, while the McDavid's foam, that just bounces right back into place. So hopefully that can kind of give you a visual aid as to how soft the padding is on the Game Patches. But don't worry, I know it sounds weird that I'm saying the pad is soft. Game Patch does claim that their padding can absorb 20% more impact than their competitors, which of course, I'm not a scientist, so I can't prove or disprove that statistic. But what I can tell you from using both of these knee pads, the Game Patches did protect my knees from all kind of hits and dings, especially falling to the ground, which I'd assume is the most common situation and reason why you would buy a pair of basketball knee pads. So don't be alarmed when I say that the foam is soft, because it does still protect you from all of those hits. So yes, at the end of the day, if I was to only recommend one of these 2 knee pads, I am going with the Game Patches, not just over the McDavids, but over any other basketball knee pad, because that BAT technology, that is just worth the price of admission alone. It is truly awesome, it works, and it's a trip to experience. So I'd recommend just trying them out just so you could see how that technology works. But if we're talking fit, style, and durability, Game Patch has the edge over McDavid in all of those categories. But again, it is worth mentioning that the McDavid pair is the more accessible knee pad. Not only can you buy them at the store locally, you can get them on Amazon, and they have a lot more variety with different colors and patterns, while the Game Patch knee pads are only available in black and white. It is also worth mentioning that the Game Patches do come with a $10 shipping fee unless you decide to have an order over $150, which they do have other products on there like arm sleeves, compression shorts, and even 3/4 leggings, which have the padding installed in them already, which is pretty cool. And again, all of those products have that bat technology. But yes, if you are only interested in a pair of knee pads, there will be a $10 shipping fee. But believe me when I tell you, this is the best basketball knee pad money can buy. I've been using this technology for years now. This particular pair right here with that one single rip, I've been using them for 12 months almost, and they still look incredible. They still hold up. Every time I play basketball, I play in a pair of these. This is something that is always in my gym bag. I love this product, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I truly do believe that if you're looking for a perfect pair of basketball knee pads, the game patches won't disappoint.